This is the morning show here on Signature TV, and it's a Wednesday. Hope you're good out there. We have another guest who is standing by on Zoom this morning, and it's going to be a political discourse. Very recently, we heard about El-Rufai'S defection to the SDP. We're hotting up. We're building up to what will be a very interesting 2027 with El-Rufai pitching tents with the SDP and with rumors of other political bigwigs defecting to the other political parties to form a coalition that would stand against APC, especially at the presidential level. We have live with us Ugochukwu, Ifeanyichukwu, the social political affairs analyst. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Presenter, and good morning to the people of Enugu State. Good morning to Nigerians listening from all over the world.
Okay.
Enugu, as we know today, is we refer to Enugu as the AI state. I don't know if you people know. Enugu has become the AI state in terms of security, curbing of security, and the governor trying to transform Enugu State better than he met it.
Apparently, we're on ground, and we are following these developments as it concerns the states. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on. El-Rufai'S defection, from your standpoint, from what you're seeing, do you think it's significant enough to make APC a little bit jittery of 2027?
When this particular news of Malam Nasir El-Rufai broke sometime towards the tail end of last year, 2024, we, the political watchers and the opinion motors, we began to look at it, from different perspectives. And in my own opinion and in my charismatic way, I had few forums where I spoke about El-Rufai, meeting with who is who in Nigeria and trying to close in ranks, and he started early this year to complain about how he was neglected, how he was denigrated, and how he was rejected by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the cabinet, or the cabinet Bruhaha. And he came out straight to say that it was not the Senate that rejected him, that it was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that goes a long way to show you that he said it straight the way it ought to be. So when this issue came up from last year up until now, I tell people that denigrate or take El-Rufai for a ride at your own peril, because I've watched El-Rufai closely. He's one of the people that spoke about him when he was on the saddle in Kaduna State. I only waited for El-Rufai to come and order for my arrest in Kaduna, especially the way he piloted the affairs concerning the people of Southern Kaduna. So I was on ground. I was among the people that called him out. I've sat on different fora where El-Rufai was, especially when he brought Muhammad Buhari to come and do some commissioning in Kavanchan, Southern Kaduna. We sat at the Emir's Palace, Mohammed Isa, in Kavanchan. So the way he piloted the affairs will be the only undoing, unless El-Rufai comes out to apologize to the people of Southern Kaduna and the Christians in Nigeria in general. That is the only place I'm seeing El-Rufai not flying. But to talk about his political antecedents and talk about El-Rufai as a political student and as a political bulldozer in Nigeria, as they call it, El-Rufai is well grounded and in that midst. Remember that El-Rufai was among the people that made the regime of Olusegun Obasanjo stick. El-Rufai'S name still reverberates and echoes around the Federal Capital Territory till tomorrow. El-Rufai, his name brings sour taste and mixed reactions into the minds and lives of so many Nigerians, especially those who inhabited Abuja, the city capital then. You know, El-Rufai'S name brought some people home, and El-Rufai'S name built some people in the Federal Capital Territory. So in the event that El-Rufai is now moving around to close ranks with political opponents, you give it up to him. El-Rufai has close rank with Atiku Abubakar. He has already closed ranks with Peter Obi, Kwankwaso. Recently, last Sunday, he met with the pastor turned politician in Lagos State, Tunde Bakare. He has met with the then President Muhammadu Buhari. He's working on the ground, and he has met with Buhari as with IBB, as we understand. So El-Rufai is moving. Remember that El-Rufai came into the frame of PDP when he was recommended for Olusegun Obasanjo. From there, he went on to make his way into the minds of the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he was a founding father of APC, the coalition that accumulated into the formation of APC in Nigeria. And when PDP denigrated APC, they pulled the rug off the PDP. The PDP from that shocker. For a sabbatical from politics. But it was same these cabals and the people around them, the current president, that prevailed on him to stay put and help in, projecting Nigeria and building the Nigeria of our today. So people will ask, what happened within that little frame of time and that space? El-Rufai was among the governors in the north that people listened to, and who stood his ground and said that the presidency must shift to the south. And I don't know how Tinubu convinced El-Rufai his prayer. Maybe because El-Rufai, the former AGF in the person of Malami. So El-Rufai was shoved out or away from the kitchen cabinet of Muhammadu Buhari, and it was too late for him to find his foot. Remember that it was this El-Rufai, the same El-Rufai who disrespected Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was parading himself as the leader of the All Progressive Congress. When he now told him, when a meeting was called in Aso Rock, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then national leader, which was not captured in the constitution as a position of in the FCT frame, he came to the to Aso Rock, and it was El-Rufai who walked to him and told him, "Sir, you are not welcomed in this meeting. This meeting is only for the governors and Mr. President." It was then that Tinubu understood that the game was up. You never saw him parade himself again around Aso Rock as the national leader of APC, because he understood quickly that that name was nowhere as a position in the FCT, in the APC constitution. El-Rufai was the person who walked up to him and told him out. So El-Rufai was among those who also disrespected Mr. President of today when he stood among the protocols that were to welcome Mr. President from one of his several trips abroad. I mean, the then President Muhammadu Buhari. So we are students of history. You remember when he was shoved away from the protocol standings of welcoming Mr. President back from one of his medical trips from abroad? He was told to move away from that where he was standing. It was orchestrated by El-Rufai, who was doing everything to bring down the influence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So when Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to bring himself so low and met with El-Rufai for him to grab the power, and El-Rufai played with him and stood by him. And today I ask, look at the governors, the former governors that are standing with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Who is Matawale in the north to galvanize vote for the second tenure of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Who is Matawale, and what political weight has he in his own state? People who could not deliver their own states to their party. But El-Rufai delivered his own state for APC and left the office. This is what Tinubu should be looking at. I heard Joe is the brainchild of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but I tell them that it is going to be a shocker. The names that have been rolled out, the people you will see in SDP will shock you the amount of work El-Rufai has put in. And I tell you, with the position that Nigerians are grappling with, inflation, poverty, hunger, all the policies of the federal government are still in the pipeline. We have not seen any coming to light. A few days ago, they told us that the crude that Nigeria is blessed with is not going to be, out for sales to all the refineries in Nigeria because they want to bring down Dangote because he is in the habit of now trying to reduce the price of PMS for the benefit of Nigerians. We are watching them, and for wherever Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his camp is, forget about the Bala of this world, they know what they are doing. But I'm telling you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not losing sleep. He will be jittery where he is. Because let me give you the names into SDP. The Atiku is working on the ground. Obi will be there. You're talking about the likes of Saraki. You're talking about the likes of the people that have been forgotten. You remember the former APC chairman, Abdullahi Adamu. You remember some of the senators that have been relegated to the background. Paul Intelli.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Okay, so you're giving us this interesting background, and it helps us, put it in perspective. You've spoken highly of El-Rufai, and you also spoke about his strengths. But there are also people who think that he has a lot of weaknesses, because while he was governor of Kaduna State, so many persons counted the chaos that happened in southern Kaduna as a dent on his administration, because he practically didn't have any answer or any solution to that particular conundrum. And if you are giving this person the opportunity, again, at the shot at the presidency, he might repeat the same thing, when he becomes the president, or maybe if he decides to go for being a deputy, or as the case may be. Now, having said that too, El-Rufai was, a part of the coalition that brought APC to power. I mean, he followed that trajectory in 2014. And now look at where the country has gotten us to. That 2014, people were looking for alternatives to the PDP in 2015, which eventually they went on to win that particular elections. But given what has happened, the propaganda that they did in 2014, they used that to ride on to that, and they got themselves into power. But the country isn't any better. Why do you think people who trusted him at the time he was playing opposition politics still trust him now, given that now they now know that all these things that he's doing is just basically a personal interest is looking to gain?
Thank you for the question. I think I've answered this question in my intro. I answered this particular question in my intro about the person of El-Rufai and why many people will not buy into his philosophy. But be that as it may, I have to go back to what I said. I made mention that I was among the opinion molders and political analysts in Abuja then, who were on a radio station that is very close to Kaduna State. And for the records, my political program won the 2021-2022 political radio program in Kaduna State then, because of our input by the grace of God. And this particular El-Rufai that we are talking about today, El-Rufai was the first person that, that created the ministry of, El-Rufai was the person that created the ministry of Homeland Security in Nigeria. I don't know if you recall. El-Rufai created, when he came into office, he created the ministry of or is it the Commission of Homeland Affairs, which was headed by Samuel Arwan from Southern Kaduna. And Samuel Arwan is still in that saddle today, even in the administration of the current governor, Obasani. So when we saw El-Rufai create that ministry, we thought that it will be Uhuru for the security situation in Kaduna State, especially in Southern Kaduna. But the answer was no, because El-Rufai, remember, he said that he has paid those killers. And in another press, he said that if you kill a Fulani man, you are owing a debt that must be paid even in the next 50 years. We know all those things, we know politicians, but that will not remove the ingenuity on sincerity of purpose of a person like El-Rufai. And given the type of people and the political bigwigs that are coming into this fray now, in the formation of this mega political party, especially with Obi in the mix, and you have known that Obi have said that no coalition is what his interest if it is not about the interests of the Nigerian populace. That is where I'm thinking that they will hitch this coming together of these political bigwigs to form an alliance. If they did not go with that phrase of P2B, I tell you, Nigerians will not buy into it. And in Nigeria, before you win an election, you must bring in a radical Muslim or a radical Fulani man, which El-Rufai represents. What made, if you're talking about, I was discussing, when I had about the program yesterday, I was discussing with a lawyer friend. I was telling him about El-Rufai, and he also raised the question you raised now. I now told him, your current vice president, in the person of Shetima, does he have any better CV than El-Rufai in terms of being a fanatic or somebody who plunged Nigeria into the particular Boko Haram saga we are in today? The answer is no. But Bola Tinubu rode on his back and won election.
Okay, just for want of time.
Then, if you're talking about El-Rufai, are you talking about El-Rufai? Have you forgotten the likes of former governor of Zamfara State, Ahmed Yerima? Have you forgotten that Yerima is still in the political space of Nigeria till today? So El-Rufai made a mistake. El-Rufai wanted to consolidate his governorship, but that's why I said El-Rufai has to come out and apologize to Nigerians. Recently, Muhammad Ibrahim Babangida has come out to tell Nigerians how he annulled the election of June 12th, and Nigerians has moved on. If El-Rufai has what takes to remove this APC that has, bewitched Nigeria today, so to say, that has taken us 30 years or 40 years backwards, then Nigerians can forgive him and toe the line that all the progressives that he's bringing on board will be coming up with. That's my submission.
All right. Ifeanyichukwu, I want to appreciate you, but on a final note, just if you can put this within 2 minutes, for El-Rufai going forward into 2027, how do you think that he would align? You have mentioned an Obi in that equation. And I'm a little bit shocked that you are going to put Obi in that equation, given that before the 2023 elections, we know the back and forth that happened between El-Rufai and Peter Obi. I mean, El-Rufai practically on national TV dismissed, Obi's potential, which, I'm sure that he's still surprised that Obi was able to gather that number. What impact could you think that his move would make for the party that he is representing right now in 2027? Do you think he has any clout remaining politically?
I lost you momentarily. I only got the final leg of your question. I don't know if you can refrain. Sorry.
Okay, I was saying that
Nigeria, anything happens with the
I'm surprised you are putting Obi in that mix of joining the SDP. You are saying that El-Rufai has gone to SDP, and the next set of people would be most likely be Peter Obi and Atiku joining into the foray. And I'm just thinking, how would you marry that with the fact that El-Rufai, before the 2023 election, El-Rufai practically dismissed the potential of Obi to emerge as president? I'm sure that he still be surprised, but I'm just saying that your reaction to the fact that APC's reaction to El-Rufai's defection seems dismissive. They don't think he still has any political clout to make any changes in the political parties that he has gone to. Just within 2 minutes.
See, don't mind the politicians. I said it in my intro that even where Tinubu is now, he will be very uncomfortable. That's the truth. Forget about the rhetorics of politicians. We know them. That was how PDP dismissed APC when they were coming on. What happened at the end of the day? And don't forget that the likes of Amechi is coming into this fray. And from what we are hearing, the governor of Rivers State is also in the mix. The current governor of Rivers State. So to answer your question straight, see, the coming of Atiku might be in PDP, but he'll be working for this particular political party because the powers that be have told Atiku to throw in the towel about his interest in governing Nigeria. So I'm telling you that El-Rufai is the poster boy of this particular SDP, and he has gone to test the waters. And Nigerians are beginning to, it has formed a discourse today because El-Rufai has gone to SDP. Remember, I don't know what time I have. I'm telling you, you know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when the election of the primary of APC was conducted in 2022 or 2023, before the 2023 general elections, his one leg was in SDP. That's why in Rivers State, the person of Magnus Abe defected to SDP because he is seen as one of the Tinubu boys. Then Tinubu never knew he was going to win that primary on that very day. If you watch that primary keenly, you remember that immediately APC finished their primary on that Sunday morning. SDP did a kangaroo primary. SDP was waiting for Bola Tinubu. If he fails to clean the ticket in APC, he will come over to SDP. We know all those things.
Right.
So what they are saying was the reaction of the current administration of Bola Tinubu to the defection of Nasir El-Rufai to SDP is troubling them. That's the complete truth. And the Obi is coming there because Abure is a stooge to Bola Tinubu and APC playing the spoilers game in Labour Party. PDP is already gone.
Right.
PDP has no, hence PDP cannot recover.
All right, thank you so much, Ugochukwu, Ifeanyichukwu, for your time. We truly appreciate. I think it's some other time we're going to discuss further about the other issues that we would be putting an eye on, because we're building up to that 2027 elections. The drama is just starting, and I'm sure that in another 1 month, there will be another huge defection that will be either moving from APC to another political party totally different from what it used to be. But again, thank you for your time and your input on the show. We're back shortly after this. Just stay with us.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.